Hello friends, welcome to the channel. We have completed 3 modules in this Excel learning series. The first module was Excel Essentials and it has 12 chapters from chapter number 1 to 12. The module 2 covers Excel formula and it is having 23 chapters from chapter number 13 to 35. And module 3 which covers data visualization and it's having 20 chapters from chapter number 36 to chapter number 55. If any one of you have not watched all these chapters, then you please go back to the playlist and complete these chapters and continue to this module. Today we are starting a new module and it will cover the pivot table. And today is the first lecture of this module, and in this lecture we will try to understand what is pivot table, how pivot table is different from the Excel table, and what are the key benefits of using Excel table. We'll try to answer all these questions using the examples in Excel. So the first question is, what is pivot table? So it is a very powerful tool in Excel that allows user to analyze, summarize and explore large amount of data really very fast. Now the second question is, why pivot table? For quick answer and analysis of complex questions, we can use the pivot table. Pivot table are very helpful when formula fail to help you. Why I am saying that formula fails to help you? Let's try to understand it with the example. Here we have an Excel sheet which are having different kind of flowers and its colors. If I am asked how many flowers of purple color is available in this data, and for green, for yellow and red. So first thing is that, so if we don't know the pivot table, then what we need to do manually is that we have to work out the name of each color. Like here it is purple color, purple, then green, yellow. So if we don't know what is the exact name color, then we will apply filter and then see using the filter. So here it is blue, green, purple, red and yellow. Blue, green, red. There are 5 colors. So blue is blue and red. Now we need to use the count if formula. So count if formula we have to write like count if, then select the range, we'll select like this, then criteria is this purple, then hit enter and then drag it. You will get the answer. So this is one way of finding out the number of colors from this data. So if you know the pivot table, then you can simply insert a pivot table from here really very fast. Instead of writing all this formula, I will just simply insert a pivot table here, somewhere here. Then I will put the number of colors and same answer I am getting here, 10, 8, 7, 5, 12. So within a fraction of second I can simply find out that answer. That's why it is very important, it is very powerful and very quick. The second answer to the why pivot table is when you have no questions to answer but just have some data to analyze and come up with key insights. What does it mean? It means that you are having a large number of amount of data. For example, here IMDb movies. Here lots of data is available and I really do not know what kind of insight I want to take out from here. And you simply don't have any idea what to find out from this, what are the insights available with this data. In that kind of situation, then you can simply put a pivot table and then try to analyze the data using different options. Like I will be doing it here, insert pivot table to a new worksheet. Now it is added here. So I will just simply check the country and say budget or revenue, gross revenue. See, this is one of the insights available in this data. So Afghanistan has released so many movies, out of which the total gross revenue is this much. So as for India, this much. For Iran and every country available in this database. Now if you change your mind and you want to see the budget of each movies for each column, then we can simply put it here like this. Then this is the revenue, this is the budget. So if you want to change the columns order, we can put like this also. Then budget will come first. So Afghanistan budget is this much and revenue is this much. From here we can also find out what is the profit percentage or loss percentage. So this kind of bunch of data, if you are having and you do not have any ready questions, then also you can come up with the insights using the pivot table. So that has answered the second questions. Now what is the importance of table? What is the importance of table? We have also learned about the table, Excel table, in previous many chapters. And now the importance of table has come multiple folds when we use a pivot table. Because see, in this case, there are some bunch of data, of sales data for January, February and total sales. If I am asked what is the total sales of January, if you want to find out, then the formula is equal to sum, then give the bracket range like this, then I will get the sum of January. If I am asked for February, then I will again type for February sum, then I will just drag it like this. Imagine if this data is ever growing, if some more data is added to this table, then whether it will have any impact, any effect to this total sales? Really not, because this is not a table, it is simply a range of data. We really think that it is a table because there are rows, there are columns. So normally a table has a rows and columns, that's why we are assuming this is a table, but it is not an Excel table, it is a range of data. So first let's see if we add anything here, and then if the value of February sales increase or not. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, then we'll add something like 100. Does it make any change? No, because our data range is up to here, up to E13, but this new data is in the F14, E14, that's why this range has not covered. So we have to again manually drag it to cover it, and then it will have the effect. Then it will calculate again for the February sales. Now if I add another column here and it put 200, now this 200 has also not coming into this total sales because the sale range is up to here only. We haven't covered this one. So every time we add a new record in the table or in the range, we have to manually update the formula. So that is what we do not need in Excel. We use Excel to automate our work, not to increase our work. That's why we need to use table. So imagine if we put this data range into a table, then how it will behave. Let's delete this one and let's try to convert this data range into table. So to convert any data range into table, one thing you can do is first click in any cell inside the range. Say from here to here it is a range. Now click inside any of the data where there is a data. So here we have data, I will just click it here and then go to insert, and then you have three options here: pivot table, recommended pivot table and table. We are not talking about the pivot table or recommended, we are talking about the Excel table. Either you click it here or you see the Control T, the shortcut key. So my favorite is Control T, so I will just simply put Control T, and then it will give you this dialog box, create table. Where is the data or your table? So my data is here, and now it is also selecting my table has headers. What does it mean? Headers means this is the header: product, sales, FAF sales and total sales. These are the header. If your data range is having this kind of header, then you tick it, otherwise you can uncheck it. But in my case we are having a header, so I will just simply check it and then hit OK. then this will convert the data into a table. Now I can change the format of the table from like this, and then also I can remove the filter. So the moment it has converted into table, we get another menu here that is called table design. If I click my cursor from here to here, this table design menu will be disappear. See, I will click here. It is not available here because this cell is not part of the table. So how do you understand whether it is a table or not table? So whenever you click inside any cell or in data, if it reflects that there is a table, there is this menu is comes up, then you can automatically understand that this is a table and each table is having their own unique name. So you click it here and then you will get a table name. Here it is a table name. So I can change this table name into sales table to understand, because if you are having multiple table, then you have to name the table name as per the contents of the data. So here we are having sales data of January, February. So I'm putting the name of this table into sales table. Okay, hit enter. Now the name of the table is sales table. Here let's see the difference between the table and data range. Now I am going to do the sum sales. See, when I click sales, it is already prompting me the name of the table. So sales table is there. Then if you want to do the calculation of a particular row or particular column, then you have to press that third bracket. Then it will give you the list of columns. Here we are having product sales, January sales, February sales, and total sales. So here also we are having the list of product, Jan sales, Feb sales, and total sales, right? So if I want to calculate the total sales of January, then I will simply select this January and then third bracket close and hit and parenthesis close and hit enter. Then it will give you 180. If I put here 20, it will have the effect. If I put again 100, it will again increase. If I put something here again, it will also increase, because whenever I put any data, whenever I add any data, the table expands automatically. See, I don't have anything here, but still it expands. So let me change the color of the table so that you get the idea that this is a part of the table. So I will just put like this. Okay, so the moment I put anything here, and then I will write something here. Now let me write something here K, and then here let me write L. See, the table size has increased, it has expanded. So if I put anything here, the calculation will have an effect. It has already calculated this entire column. Same as I can do for February here, February sales. So I can put here some sales tab and Feb sales. It is automatically doing the sales. If I put it here 10 rupees, then it will come to 1190. This is the difference between the Excel table and normal data range. So when you are using this pivot table, see, suppose here I am having only 43 data, right? 43 data is there. So I will put one more column color here, yellow. Let's see first what is the color of number of yellow. This is 12, right? So I will put another yellow here, yellow. Let's see, it should normally increase to 13, right? But still it is 12, because this is not a table, this is a data range. Okay, so but if I convert this into table, then automatically yellow, which should have increased to 13 number. So let me convert this into table. Control T, hit enter. Now then it should increase the number of yellow to 13. See, it has increased to 13. If I put another now color like green, let's see how much was the green. It is 9. So here it is 8. Let me refresh it. It will change to 9. So it has changed to 9. So every time you add a new data into the table, the pivot table will automatically update the same thing after doing the refresh. Okay, so that is the importance of table. So anytime you want to create a pivot table out of a source data, then you have to convert that source data into a table first, Excel table, and then insert the pivot table. The next point is now the source data. Now let's discuss about the source data. So whenever you want to create any pivot table, then you need one source data, and you should ensure that the source data does not have any blank cells. Suppose this is a source data. Here we have IMDb movie database, and it is having from which year? Let's see. From 1920 to 2015. This data is so huge that it is having titles of 33,000 around, and its release date, color or black and white, is genre, language, country, rating, lead actor, director name, and likes of the lead actor in the Facebook, casts of Facebook likes of cast in the Facebook, likes of director in the Facebook, likes of the movie in the Facebook, IMDb score, total reviews, duration, budget, and revenue as well. So this is a really huge data source. This data source is compulsory to make a pivot table. Pivot table cannot be made out of no source data. It has to connect with a source data. Once you have a table of its kind, where there is a complex data, where there is a multiple data, large amount of data, then you can use the pivot table to analyze this kind of data. If your table is having only 2-3 columns and the data is also very less, row is having around 10, then there is no point of using any pivot table. Okay, so pivot table is required when there is a huge amount of data in your data source. So this is the data source, and from this data source we can create the pivot table. Now inserting the pivot table, we have also learned a small tips how do we insert the pivot table, and there are multiple ways you can insert the pivot table. So one of the ways is that you either click here and then go to insert and pivot table, click on the pivot table, or you can use the recommended pivot table. If we do recommended pivot table, then Excel will analyze the data and then it will suggest you some of the probable pivot table. So here it is suggesting that sum of gross revenue by a country, or sum of budget by country, sum of budget, sum of revenue, gross revenue, and sum of IMDb score, like that. So any out of these suggestions you can either select it or you can create your own one. So most of the time the suggestion given by it is not perfect, but sometimes it also helps you. So either way you can do it, and later on there is a flexibility in the pivot table. Even if it is created using the recommended pivot table, you can still change the field list. Okay, so that is not a big problem. So now let's try to create using the pivot table instead of using the recommended pivot table. So this is one way. Another way is you can come to any Excel blank cell and then go to pivot table, and then it will ask you the table range. So from table range you can select like this. Here you can go Control Shift left arrow or right arrow, Control Shift down, and then you can select like this also. So either way you can do it. So I am avoiding this one. Let me use the first method, that is just click any cell inside the table and then go to pivot table, then table range, select this table range. It has automatically selected the entire table range, and go to a new sheet for the pivot table, because there is no enough space for pivot table, so we will go to a new worksheet. So Excel will create new worksheet by default, sheet number 3, and then we have a pivot table here. So this is the pivot table where we will be putting all the field lists and all the columns and the rows and try to create a table. Now before we put anything here, then let's try to understand what are these. So we have three options here. One is the field list, okay, and then filter, column, rows and values. So these are the titles which are having in your database. See, in your database you are having title, release date, color, genre, language, country, something like that. And in this field list also we are having all the titles same as that your source data. So it is simply putting it here in the list wise so that you can select any of the column from the list. If the number of column is huge, then instead of using the scroll bar, you can simply type here also like budget. If your source data is having a budget column, then it will show up. And then there are four boxes. One is filter and columns, rows and values. Anything you put in the rows will create an individual row in the table. Suppose if I put lead actors in the row box, then it will create individual row for each actors. There are how many? Let's avoid the lead actor. Let's see something like that. Country. So there are around 49 countries. So 49 countries are, it's not actually 49, 46 countries are available in your source data. Okay, so each country might have been repeated multiple times in this database. Suppose see USA, 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 Japan, UK, USA, UK, Italy. So it has been repeated multiple times in your source data, but in pivot table it is showing only once, because pivot table will show you only once out of many repeated records. That is the beauty. So if we are using this with a formula, then what we need to do is we have to use the unique formula to find out the unique and values from the entire 3000 data. But the pivot table has just calculated the unique value out of this entire data in just one drag and drop. That is, here it is. Now I am putting it here. It has already finished. So I do not need to use the unique code here. I just need to drag the required column name to the row box. So whenever you put any text or any of the column list from this field list to row, it will create individual row. And then if you put anything, if you give this genre to the columns, then it will create individual column. There are multiple genres. Here we have these genres: adventure, animation, biography, comedy, crime, and so on. So when I put this genre to the column, it is creating individual column for each genre. And here we have left with two boxes. One is filter and one is value. Value, you might have noticed that summation mark here. It means that it is used only for calculation of the numerical value. You should not be putting any column out of this list in the value where there is no value involved. But we can count, we can use the text value for counting. Like suppose, let me remove this one and then see how many films was created by Afghanistan. So the country, I will just simply drag it here, how many times it is repeated. So it is counting. Afghanistan is repeated only once, Argentina, Australia, France, like that, USA, UK. These are the number of repetitions. So these are number of films created, made by these countries. So in such case, we can use only for counting purpose. Otherwise, we should normally use most all the time the values column for numerical calculation. So here we want to calculate, we want to see what is the total gross revenue of each country in this entire database. So let's put this gross revenue in the value column, and then we will get all these value that Afghanistan has made one movie, out of which they have earned a revenue of this much, 1127,331. So as for Argentina, so as for this one. So it is not necessary that we should have only one column against each row. We can have multiple column. If now let's see the budget. Now if we want to change the order of the column, then we can put like this. We need to just drag it down or drag it up as per your order. So here budget is coming first, and then some gross revenue is coming at the last, and automatically it is also giving the grand total of all these columns. We haven't done anything to do all this calculation. It is so fast because Excel is doing its own calculation, and there is no scope of having any human error unless we are putting the text into wrong fields. Now we have left with the filter option. Now the filter option is used to filter out for a record. In the source data, we know that there are many films which were made in black and white and color, and there are many films of different genre. So if we want to see this budget or gross revenue for genre wise or color wise, then we can filter that one also. So let's first use the filter option for genre. So I am going to filter this budget only for comedy, action. Then these are the country which has made the action films, and these are the budget, these are the revenue. If I want to see only for documentary, then these are the only country which has made the documentary film, and this is budget and this is the revenue. So all this analysis, all this summarization can be done very easily using a pick and drop functionality of pivot table. Let's see the IMDb score. So Canada has the average IMDb score of 7.4. Denmark is this much. I can check for the average also like this. So this is the average IMDb score of each country. Like for Canada, it is having 7.4 like that. So these are the things which we can play with the pivot table. Now let's see what is the total review received for each country under the genre selected for documentary. If I want to see for all, then I can enable it multiple and then select all, then I will get it for all. So these are the total review received for the movies made by Afghanistan, Argentina, and so on. We can either sort in name wise or value wise. We can sort value wise also. Like this, we can also sort value wise. Or if we want to sort text wise, then we can sort here A to Z like this. If you want to change the layout of this pivot table fill list, then you can click it here, and then you can change in this way also. Here you can see all the column names in the list, and then you will have the filters here, row here, column here. So as per your choice, if the fill list is so big, then it is better for you to change in this format. Okay, and then you can change it. And if you want to remove the pivot table, then you can simply drag the column fills from here and put it here, and then put it here. Now you don't have anything now. Now you can construct a new pivot table out of this. So this is a very handy and very easy to use if once you understand all the fill lists and how it works. Now let's summarize what we have learned from this chapter. First is, what is pivot table? Pivot table is a very powerful tool which allows you to analyze, summarize, and explore a large amount of data set. And what are the key benefits? The key benefits are, it is very powerful. It uncovered insights and answer key questions about your data. It's beautiful. You can apply styles, conditional formatting, rules to bring your pivot table into life. It is very fast. You can create custom views, filters, calculated fields very easily on the fly. It's very accurate. The calculation, all calculations are done by the Excel itself, and there is no chance of having any human error unless you put the column into wrong fields. And it is very flexible. You can manipulate the table, the layouts, creating dynamic views with different combinations. Sometimes you can put one column, two rows, that rows can be put into the column, and then you can count. So many things you can do with the play with the pivot table. Pivot table also help you get answers for your data without you having to write a complex formula. It is very fast to create the pivot table and really easy to use, and also you can find the relationship between the data in your table. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and would like to put into use in your daily work. Don't hesitate to appreciate with a comment. If you have any area where I need more clarity, point it out in the comment. I will definitely cover in the next video. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and also share with your friends so that they can also learn the Excel with us together and we can grow together. And that's it for this lecture, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.